What's up, everybody? Hello, everybody. What's going on today? Hope everyone is well. Let's get some more lights going on. And let's get down to business. What do you say? Your boy's back. Ready to rock. Ready to shred. Ready to play. Talk. Hang out. Yo, what up, Metal Grammys? What's up with that? Metal Grammys. Is there a Metal Grammy? I don't remember. Wasn't something like that? Like going around, they were trying to start a Metal Grammy. Did that ever happen? I don't remember. Marcio. There's my buddy in Brazil. How are you, Marcio? What up, Richard Davila? Let's get it. Let's get it. How's everybody doing today? I'm just hanging. Haven't been on in a couple days. I've been really busy. Been training a lot. Doing a lot of my kickboxing, Muay Thai, doing my training. I'm actually teaching now out of the gym in my area. I will announce exactly where later in the week. Or you can private message me, but I don't know how many people live in my area. But yeah, you know, one of my passions has always been boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai. Always loved it. Love it. Love training it. Love using it. And yeah, some Stevie Ray Vaughan. Love Stevie Ray Vaughan. But anyway, yeah, I'm doing more of that, which is a lot of fun because I love the art of Muay Thai and boxing. And it goes with the music, at least my music. So, yeah. I've been doing a lot of that lately, so I haven't been able to get online too often. But I'm back with my beautiful SG. Don't forget my other beautiful SG. I got to set this one up. Maybe I'll do it after today's live feed. I got to restring this bad boy and set it up. The only thing with SGs is you got to intonate them pretty often for some reason, which is good. That's a good thing because you want to be intonated. When am I coming to play in Brazil? Good question, Leonardo. I hope soon. I love Brazil. I always say how much I love it there, how much I love the fans, the concerts, the food, the culture, the weather. So yeah, I'm hoping at some point I will be down there. So maybe you guys can help me. Tell people to request it. Right, Marcio? Everybody said how great, yeah, you got to stay intonated. Everyone said how great Sepultura was, I heard, at Rock in Rio. So I'm glad to hear that. These guys are killing it. Bonjour. Actually, he played guitar yesterday. So I gotta get warmed up here. It's crazy how I don't normally miss a day. I always make a point, at least minimum, to pick up the guitar for, even if it's 20 minutes a day, at least minimum. It doesn't happen very often where I don't pick up the guitar every day, but yesterday was one of those days I actually can't believe I didn't. And you know, you can feel it. The more you practice, the more you play. When you go a day without practicing, you can feel it in your hands, you know, that you didn't play the day before. So I always say, even if it's late night, you got home from work or something, just pick it up, run through scales, run through some riffs, watch TV. There's definitely a lot of muscle memory that's involved in playing guitar. So yeah, stay well rehearsed, people. Because if you don't use it, you lose it. Goes for everything. Yeah, you know, it's kind of weird, Chris. I kind of lost contact with Washburn a couple of years ago, unfortunately. The rep who was my rep had quit, I guess. So I lost contact with him. I was at the Summer NAMM show recently. Yeah, Marcio, I would love to come down there. Let's plan some clinics in Brazil. I would love to do clinics and some shows at some small clubs. So maybe we can plan it. That'd be great. Um, so yeah, so I was at Summer NAMM back in June, and finally contacted somebody at the Washburn booth. We talked, and apparently Washburn, they discontinued all their signature models with everybody except Nuno Betancourt. Um, so yeah, I got kicked out. It happens. They just, I guess, discontinued my guitar, and that's fine, man. I got one left here. I love it. It's a great 7 string. Like I've been saying, I love Gibson, guys. I always have. Yeah, it is sad, because I did like my Washburn, and but they just, I guess, the company with everything going on, everybody's just cutting back. So yeah, they discontinued the Washburn, unfortunately. But listen, man, the Washburn signature model, it was just based off of Gibson, guys. I love Gibson Les Pauls. I love the SG, like I've always said. So at this point, man, that's what I'm playing, guys. That and I got that Diamond Renegade, I think it's called, that plays incredible, and it's just like an SG. So I think from here out, you guys will be seeing me play basically nothing but a Gibson SG, since I got two beautiful ones here, or the very beautiful Little C, or that Diamond Renegade. It's just what I'm comfortable on, man. Always have been very comfortable on SGs, and yeah, that's what I will be sticking with from here on out, I think. Maybe a Strat once in a while. I do have a nice Fender Strat here I gotta get fixed up. I do like Fenders also. All right, man. I'm waiting for my iPod to charge here, so I'm just gonna noodle a little bit on the guitar, and once the iPod is charged up, I'm gonna put some backing tracks on and do some shredding. I hope I don't bore you guys. I know a lot of times I play the same songs over and over, but that is actually my practice regimen, is playing my solo music over and over and just improvising. For me, that does so much for my playing. And, I have you guys hang out with me, and we talk and jam. So yeah. Mayonnaise guitars. Am I saying that right? No, I have not. Like I always say, guys, I'm not really into a lot of the newer stuff that's coming out. I know there's like a lot of guitars out there that are like cutting edge. They have the whatever that's called with the frets, which is supposed to be for perfect intonation and all that. Sounds great. I'd love to check it out, but honestly, man, I'm just so into classic instruments, man. A beautiful old SG or a beautiful old Strat, beautiful Les Paul. To me, I'm into the original guitars, the Gibsons and the Fenders, and the classic shapes. I'm just not into really. I don't know. I guess I'm turning into like an old man now, at 45, and I'm just going with all the stuff that I know and I love. How to get the Archangel tone? I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure I used my PRS 7-string going through a 6505, I believe. Funny thing was, I really haven't talked about that much, but Max really didn't even play guitar in Archangel. I was asked to re-record everything by the producer for tuning reasons, tightness reasons. So yeah, I recorded basically all the guitar on that record. and I do remember using the PRS 7-string. I had just gotten hooked up with PRS, and they sent out a beautiful Sunburst 7-string, and yeah, and that's what I used, and that's what you heard. But that record, I don't know, man, that record kind of went over my head. I don't even think I really listened to it, you know, and it's weird because I really did enjoy working with who we worked with on that record. But I don't know, the songwriting I just wasn't feeling it, man. That's probably my least favorite Soulfly record that I played on. But yeah, I basically recorded all the guitars for that record, and that happened a lot in the studio, guys. On many occasions, producers that we worked with would tell me towards the end, like, "Yo, I need you to re-record all the guitars." So, hey, it's the truth. Truth hurts. Salute. This is when you know you're really into coffee. French press. It's my favorite way. Drink it straight out of the tap. All right, man. So, yeah, those PRSs were nice though. I had 2 of them. I probably would have stayed with PRS. I didn't like the colors, man, and they wouldn't send me out anything that was just plain black. I like dark colors, and they sent me out this like weird orangey Sunburst. You probably could find pictures of me playing it online, and then this like happy blue, weird looking blue guitar, you know. Yeah, and I wasn't feeling the colors, and every time I would ask them to send me a black 7-string, they were like, "Oh, we don't have it in stock." And then that's when I was introduced to somebody at Washburn, and we designed my signature Washburn. I went with that, you know. But I want to try not to jump around as much, man. I mean, listen, I love Gibson. I think they're the best, and that's what I'll probably be sticking with from here on out. And also, like I said, Diamond, I've been working with. They've been sending me some beautiful guitars, and I've been using those too. So we don't have any in stock. Isn't that crazy? PRS used to tell me that they didn't have any black guitars in stock. It was weird. Sweat endorsements anymore. You know, it's funny how a lot of guitar players like sweat that stuff and are always about, "Yo, who you endorse with? Who's your endorse?" It's like I don't really care, guys. You know, I know what I love. I love Gibson. I know Gibson will probably never endorse me, and I'm fine with that because it's worth buying. You know, and I don't really sweat it that much anymore. Yo, what's up, Shred Head? Have you played the Yamaha THR? I don't think so. I was endorsed with Yamaha. They're the ones that built my beautiful double neck. I'm selling that too if anyone's interested. Hit me up, private message me. The famous double neck that I used to use for the Mars Jam. But yeah, I was with Yamaha. They made some really good stuff, man. But I don't know, man. Again, some of these weird new shapes that come out, I'm just not into, man. I want to play the classic stuff, guys. It's really weird, man. I hate to sound like an old man, but I'm like, I really, really have just been listening to a lot of classic rock lately. A lot of old Deep Purple, Van Halen, Cream. I love the classics, man. And not only do I love listening to the classic music, but I love playing the classic instruments that got those tones, man. So that's what I'm into, man. I'm really into the older stuff, man. So yeah, man, I love Van Halen, man. You know, when I listen to Van Halen or Deep Purple, for me, it's such a breath of fresh air, man. It's just so different to my ears to listen to that stuff, you know. So 2 PVs HP. The PV HP was great, man. I had quite a few of them, man. That was when Dave Ellison was at PV. He really hooked me up, and that was probably one of the last times I really got treated really good by a company. Was when Dave Ellison was at PV. They used to fly me out to do all types of clinics and stuff. And it was really cool. But yeah, those HP guitars were really, really nice. Yeah, I love Joe Pass, Marcio. You know that. Heck yeah, I love Joe Pass. So anyway, those HPs were really cool. I didn't really like the shapes of them, though. You know, again, I like classic shaped guitars. Either it's an SG, a Strat, or a Les Paul, maybe a Flying V. I'm not into all these weird new shapes, you know. And the HP for me was a little, it was a little weird. I like the Wolfgangs, the Eddie design. Those were cool. The headstock was cool, but the HP headstock, I just never really liked the way it looked. It kind of looked kind of wimpy to me. But they sounded great, and they were cool, and I used them. And even when I left, I had wound up then BC Rich offered me a signature because PV didn't want to do a signature with me, unfortunately. So I went to BC Rich, but I still played those HPs, man. I used them a lot on a lot of different records, man. I used the HP on, man, so many records. You name it, I used them. So, how do you like the Gibson semi-acoustic? That's a great guitar, Marcio. I love those semi-acoustics. They're excellent. I gotta get one day. So. All right, I think my iPod is charged up. I think I'm gonna play some music for you guys now. I'm ready. It's time. It's time. You guys know the deal. I can talk and play, and I can talk honestly. That's what I like about doing these feeds. You guys are getting the honest truth about how records were made, who did what was used. I remember all the guitars I played. I have a very good memory, and yeah, I remember exactly what I used at all my gigs and tours and stuff like that. All right, let's see what we got here, people. See what's up with this one. Yeah, let's do something cool. Give me a minute, guys. Sorry. Hold on, we're getting there. This is my new iPod. I lost my other one. These things, they constantly disappear on me, man. It's crazy. All right, let's do this. Let's do Riddle of Steel. This is a classic for me. was The Riddle of Steel from my second solo record, Ultimate Devotion. And that's a short version of it. You know, the version on the record is a lot longer. The thing with my first two records that came out on Shrapnel was that the label had a deal where they wanted every song to be no shorter than 5 minutes, but no longer than 10 minutes. So I had to write songs that were like, you know, right around 7-8 minutes. I think Real as Steel on the record goes on for almost like 13 minutes. I personally don't really like music that long, songs to go for that long. But will I play in France? Hopefully soon, Chris. I just did Hellfest with Niño about 2 months ago, man. I'm not sure if you were at it, but it was a great show. Anyway, but I don't normally like to write songs that go on for that long. I did it for Shrapnel Records, but by the time I put out my third record, Legionnaire, a lot of the songs were pretty short. Maybe a couple were long, but I like writing tight, short songs, 4 minutes, maybe 5 tops, that's it. But that's why a lot of this song, that version of Real as Steel, I cut it down to like 4 minutes, I think. It's just like a little snippet of all my favorite riffs in that song, so. All right, let's keep jamming, guys. Yeah, isn't that weird, Broken Face Clown? That sure is a weird request. You know what it is that it was a very fusion label that put out a lot of fusion music. So a lot of that music goes on for, you know, really long songs. So that's why. I don't think they really understood that I don't really just do fusion-y kind of stuff. I do a lot more metal, kind of hardcore, mixed with the shred. Did you only sing on one of them? That's a controversial topic. I did actually do vocals on Ultimate Devotion. That was me. Not very proud of it. I was still kind of finding my voice. I was going through a really weird period too in my life, and I don't think it was a good idea I put those songs on. They weren't really my two favorites. Some cool riffs in it, but I probably should have had a guest vocalist. But yeah, you know, you try things. What are you gonna do? So that's why Legionnaire was all instrumental. But now I'm kind of comfortable with my vocals, and maybe I'll do something in the future. We'll see. You know, so all right, let's see what else we got here, man. Let's do some more jamming. All right, speaking of Legionnaire, this is one of my favorites, Legionnaire. favorites, man. So I think Shredhead asked was, what was the question again, Shredhead? You wanted to know if I ever compromised or something with music. You know, I should say no, but I will say yes. There was a time. So around the time I joined Il Niño, we started off kind of like a hardcore metal band, but then the sound kind of changed. You know, the whole new metal thing was big. I was not a fan of it. Not a fan of new metal. And that first El Nino record was definitely, it started off as more of a metalcore, Latin influenced, hardcore kind of record, and then it slowly kind of changed as we were in the studio. It took about 6 months to make that whole record. Yeah, at the time I wasn't really, at the time I much rather enjoyed what we were doing before the whole new metal explosion. You know, it just wasn't my thing. I was not into new metal at the time. I really didn't even like those like first two early Soulfly records. I did not like Sepultura Roots. I was not a fan of that record. But we kind of like, the sound kind of changed when we started making that first record, Revolution. So I wasn't really for it. It wasn't really my thing. Yeah, I was always into thrash metal, death metal. I love hardcore, even punk. I love a lot of punk rock, you know. But I was not into the whole new metal thing, and it kind of morphed into that, which obviously then I left, you know. But looking back at it, you know, I think I don't know, maybe for the time it was people loved that record, Revolution, and there was definitely some great stuff on it. But I just wasn't into the new metal thing, which is why I love the new El Nino, because it's not as new metal. It's very metal influenced. There's more riffing going on and stuff. So that's why I really like it. And the vocals are, in my opinion, much more heavier and more metal. So yeah, that was a time when I guess, you know, I might have you know, not 100% stuck to my guns, you know. But it turned out all right, because we wound up getting a record deal and hitting the road, and that was exciting for me, because as I was playing thrash metal and death metal, I never had any interest from a record company playing that stuff. So right place, right time, you know. So looking back at it, it was all good. Yeah, I agree with you, Shredhead. You know, I actually I did like Soulfly 3. The third one, for some reason, there were some riffs on there that kind of were similar to Chaos AD. But yeah, I wasn't really, I didn't like the first two records. It wasn't for me, really. So, I held back the band musically, that musically didn't. Well, I agree. You know, I was really, really into Puya. And that was kind of the vibe I wanted to go with El Nino, was kind of more of a Puya influence, mixing the Latin music with the metal. And I was really obviously into flamenco, so. Right on. Well, listen, man, like I said, Frontlines, I talked about the other day. Frontlines was a very important song for Soulfly when I was in the band. I wrote the song, straight up, honest truth. Anyone that was there will tell you that. I wrote it. I gave it to Max on a CD, finished, and I still have the demo, which I will release soon. Yeah, Requus, I did not like that song at all. That was one of the songs I didn't like on 3. But yeah, Frontlines was a song that very important for the band, because it brought us back to technical thrash, you know, and that's really what I was listening to, and that was always my plan when I joined Soulfly, was to try to bring it back to the thrash metal thing, because I love that. You know, for me, it's like, if I'm going to work with this guy, I want to bring it back to that thrash vibe, and we did, and I definitely came up with a lot of riffs with that thrash vibe, and Frontlines was one of them, and you know, and that's why when you would go see the band play, you know, this would be me playing. I would be playing it just like the record, and your boy would be doing this. It's not an opinion, yo. It's facts, you know. And it was sad. It was a very sad thing to see someone go up there and not care to learn how to play that stuff, you know. But yeah, and the breakdown was sick, man. That was a riff I wrote. Prophecy, there was a lot of songs that were already written, like the song Prophecy. But there was a lot of stuff that I added, that I wrote. Like, for instance, the breakdown in Living Sacrifice was a riff that was in one of my old metalcore bands I was in back in 1996, and that was this riff. I messed up. Played it a lot. That's one of my riffs from one of my old bands, you know, another one that I wrote and brought to the band. This guy will never admit to that, but it's the truth, guys. It's the truth, straight up. Anybody that was there will tell you that too. So yeah, that was my influence, was the brand. But listen, man, that's all in the past. What's the future now is that we're finishing up my project Revenge Beast, and that style of riffing that you know me for, those style of riffs that I wrote are now in my project Revenge Beast. So get ready for that, you know. That's true, Edwardian. Super lazy strumming. You know, I could never relate to going on stage and doing this the whole show. You know, I don't get it. Never did. But whatever. Teach their own. Terror Tactics. That was a good song. Shredhead. You know, I honestly I didn't really listen to that record. It was a good record. I thought it was good. I don't think it was as good as the first one. Or the second one. The second one I think could have been a lot better. I think Blunt Force Trauma was great. I think it was almost even better than the first Cavalier Conspiracy record. But we didn't, we were starting to get rushed at that time for whatever reasons. Money got tight. I guess, we would go in the studio and knock it out in 2 weeks. And that's why I don't think the record was maybe as good as the first one. The first one was great. Another reason why the Inflicted Cavalier Conspiracy record was so great, and you're all being lied to about it, is that Joe Duplantier did a lot of writing on that record that he never got credit for it. And that's why I think I know for a fact that's why he didn't stick with Cavalier Conspiracy, because he didn't get writing credit. And I know his manager was battling to make sure he got credit, and he never really did. There were songs that he wrote, like Ultraviolet had Gojira style riffs. There was a couple other songs I can't think off the top of my head, but he had a big part in the writing of that record. And I think when they tried to pull a fast one, management, you know who, tried to pull a fast one on him, I think Joe bailed. He was like, "What's the point? I have my own band that's blowing up," and and Joe didn't stick around, and it hurt the band because honestly, it was amazing when working with Joe. He's a super talented dude. Obviously, Gojira is incredible. And they were on the verge of blowing up when we were making the Cavalier Conspiracy Inflicted record in 2007. And I think he was like, "Hey, continue doing my band where I'm being credited properly, or do this new band where people are trying to rip me off." And that's why he took off to go do Gojira, and it was a good choice because Gojira is incredible. And look at them, they're freaking huge now. So salute to Joe. He's an incredible musician, and Gojira is incredible. Oh, the acoustic song Liar. Good question, dude. So the acoustic song Liar, that was done. We used to tune to C sharp open. And I used an open tuning, and I think it was like C sharp. The first two low strings were C sharp, and then it was like a fifth up, whatever that is. The next two strings doubled up, and then the next two I think were C sharp. So it consisted of an open tuning and with strings doubled up, and then I just did a very simple, chord progression. So, well, thank you, Edwardian. I definitely had a lot to do with it, dude. I did. I'm not gonna say everything, but I definitely had a lot to do with it. More than what Max would admit, or management. But I did. I had a lot to do with it, and I did it sincerely. I wanted the band to be back to that Sepultura level, which I never felt they could because they just didn't have an Andreas style player in the band. Not to diss anyone. I mean, Andreas is an exceptional guitar player. He's not just great; he's exceptional. And for me, he created something back in those days that was just ahead of its time. His style of soloing and the riffing. And that style of writing, Max would always come up with something very, very simple, and then Andreas would come up with something very technical on top of that and melodic. And to me, that's what got me into it. When this whole thrash metal, death metal thing came out in the '80s, the vocals, I wasn't really a fan of it. It was the guitar playing. and Andreas would come up with these incredible solos, these melodies. For me, that it made it musical and it made it catchy, and why I wanted to listen to the music. So yeah, props to him. And look at him, he's still killing it. He's still up there on stage playing guitar better than ever, man. So props to that dude, man. Andreas is a legend, and he's still a legend playing guitar on stage. Even better today. That new Sepultura record is I think, even better than anything from back in the day. It's got some of Andreas' best guitar playing. So. Yeah, it was a great record, Dark Ages. You know who also I'd like to give props to on the Dark Ages record was Joe Nunez, man. Joe Nunez is kind of the unsung hero of the band, because when we first started jamming, he and I really locked in with death metal, old school death metal and thrash metal, and he would turn me on to other thrash metal bands and death metal bands as I would turn him onto it, and we were coming up with these style of riffs, man. And yeah, you're right, Marcio. Andreas is playing better than ever, man. So that's where I would spend my money, guys. He's up there playing his chops better today than he ever did. So that's funny. That's funny, Edwardian. You're right. You are correct. I do like the 3, but 2 I can pass that. Yeah, there were some good riffs on those first 2 records, Shredhead, but just riffs. I wasn't into the songwriting. But yeah, Joe Nunez had a big part also in the sound of Dark Ages, man. And I think they like to try to pretend like he didn't, and they just want to kind of forget about Joe Nunez. But Joe Nunez had a major part in the influence of trying to also get us back to a thrashy sound. And he was one of the best drummers in the band too. And he got a really bad deal too. And he stayed very quiet. He wasn't outspoken. He quit and basically just went on to something else outside of music. But yeah, Joe should have always got a lot of credit too, because he really also influenced me to come up with thrash metal riffs and cheer me on, and was excited about it. And then his drumming was awesome, dude. The guy tried out for Slayer and he got the gig. He was supposed to do Slayer, and then something happened where I think he didn't want to do it, but he did get the okay that he was going to get the Slayer gig back in like 03, I think it was. So listen, man, if Slayer says you're the drummer for the band, you're an incredible drummer. And Joe Nunez was probably one of the best drummers the band had, and was ripping. And he, I don't feel like he ever got the credit either, and it's sad that that's such an issue, So, yeah, it's a little story behind the scenes. Would I ever go back, El Niño of Christian? No, I would never probably work with Christian ever again. No, I'm just not a fan of his vocals, man. I'm not a fan. It just doesn't do it for me. So. Someone 8-bit remixes. I don't know what that means. What would you think if someone did some 8-bit? Yeah, it'd be cool, man. My first solo record was done on a very small, I think, Roland something board by a friend of mine. It's not the best sounding record, but I thought it came out pretty good considering the gear we used. You can go on YouTube and you can see old El Niño with Jorge singing. Thank you. Kingdom was another riff that I took that riff and ran with it, man. The thing was that Max would come up with very simple riffs, and then I would embellish them and make them more technical, and make it more metal, in my opinion. And that was one of them. So cool. All right, I'm gonna do, I think, one more song here, guys, because it's getting late. Let's see what we got. Yeah. We did Legionnaire. What else could we do? Someone said Kilo Cycle Interval. You know what? I haven't played that in a long time, so hopefully I don't mess it up. It's from Kilo Cycle. Here we go. questions. I missed one of those. If one of you guys want to repeat that. Smashing guitars on stage. Good question. Listen, man, I get punk rock. I love punk rock. Love punk rock. I'm not into smashing guitars on stage. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's a waste of a guitar. I mean, here's a great idea. How about instead of smashing that guitar, how about giving it to some kid in the crowd who doesn't have enough money to buy a guitar? How about that? Put that guitar to use for someone that could use it. Yeah, I think it's stupid at this point. I mean, when I was younger, maybe I thought it was cool. I may have smashed a guitar when I was a kid that was like a cheap one, where like it just didn't work anymore. An acoustic maybe it was, I don't remember, but I wouldn't do it on stage. I just think it's bratty, childish. I don't think it's anything original or different. Maybe in the 60s when Jimi Hendrix did it, it was cool, but even then, I just don't think it's cool to do, man. Give that guitar to someone that could use it. Don't smash the guitar. That's silly. It's stupid at this point, and it's not original anymore. Again, if it was 1965, maybe that was original, but it's really not original. It's stupid at this point. So grow up. Cool. All right, man. Listen, I'm gonna do one more song for you guys because I have to keep my chops up. Sorry if I repeat this. Some people tell me I repeat and do the same thing over and over again, but they don't understand. That's how you keep your chops up. So you guys know the song. I know I play it all the time. It's one of my favorites, but I have to practice it. So let's go. Why destroy? Yeah, it's true. Why destroy a guitar? It's just, don't do it. It's childish. Grow up. All right, here we go. You know it. You love it. Isosceles. Do I do any neck fret polish? No, I don't do anything like that, bro. Just hit the strings. Guys, got a little carried away, sorry. All right, man, listen, you all have a great day. Thank you, appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, help me get this page to grow, guys. Please share these videos, subscribe, like, and help me get this channel to grow, because I got a lot more to offer, to give, guys. A lot more going on, all right? All right, listen, man, you guys all have a great day, great night. I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow, all right? Peace. Good night. Buenas noches.